Okay, friend. Now that we have taken a look at each one of the centers, each one of the functions, and being able to drop into all the different nuances that are inside those centers for us to sell from. So if you have a hanging, dormant gate off of an undefined center, you're going to notice that you sell there the most. Wherever your splits are in your split definition, you'll notice that's where you make money. And if you have all of the centers defined, again, you want to go to those splits. You'll either be a triple split or a quad split, and that's where you are going to make money. And as a reflector, you have all of the options open. Wherever you have hanging gates, what you'll notice is that you most likely have a sense of where the moon and the two moons are located in your design, and most likely you're going to be using those as your selling feature just because you're so connected to the moon, and possibly the sun earth as well, but most likely you're going to be looking at the moon. So now what we're going to talk about is marketing for your type. How to market yourself. How to get yourself out there. Marketing is the noisiest business on the planet. So your experiences actually lead you to prosperity. That people discount their experiences all too often. We're like, oh, well, this happened. It doesn't matter. Yeah, there's somebody that wants to hear about that experience, but they want to hear it through your communication style. So, of course, marketing might just be the biggest business on the planet. Getting attention in the ocean of noise is an art today, really it is. And most of what we see and hear are distorted messages that come from a conditioned mind. That conditioned mind is trying to get an agenda across to others. However, the point that I want to get across here is that how we do this without adding to this distorted noise in the world is so important. Let's get attention by aligning to our design and marketing in a way that enhances ourselves and others. So remember, the openness in our designs is a place where we go out and get the experience. I keep saying this. And the place where we are sold. And then this is eventually the space where clients come in to meet us. Basically, we repackage our experiences. That's really what we're doing. We're repackaging. We're looking at that experience objectively and then going, hey, this is how it worked out in my world. So let's align you to your own music so that we can get away from the noise and the distortion of the conditioned mind. So we want to package up your story. That's really, most of the time, people want to hear the story. They want to hear that success story or that satisfaction story or how you move from this to this. So your experiences, whether they be good, bad, right, wrong, are your key to the prosperity you are looking for. So yesterday I was watching a video about a woman. Now, of course, her name just went right out of my mind, so I can't even share it here at this moment. And she was taken by the Chinese Communist Party, placed into a labor camp, and forced to work. They are forced to endure massive amounts of torture, and she said her role was a knitter. She had to learn how to knit, and she became a knitter. And she said that she was forced to even knit while they were going to lunch and while they were eating lunch and on the way back from lunch. So they had to put in, they had a quota, and it didn't matter if they had to work for 72 hours straight to get that quota done. Now, that's not a good experience for anybody. However, it's an experience. She endured it. She walked through it. She persevered through it. She has written many books and is an advocate to share the story of those that are in labor camps in China. That was her experience. And now she's able to make a living off of it because she has been able to see it as objective and know that she stood through that. That's what is impactful. So for the longest time, I didn't think my story was impactful. It's not, much of a story. I kept telling myself. Till I had clients begin to share my story with others. And clients would come back to me months after our initial contact to say that I assisted them when I shared my experience. So never downplay your experiences. This is what makes you valuable to other people. Your strengths, your qualities. That's how you deliver your message. But it is truly those experiences that you're having that people are going, hey, I need a piece of this and I need it how she's going to deliver it to me. So marketing really comes down to the value of your message, and your value is only measured by how it will benefit those that are hearing, seeing, and reading your message. Clients are looking for features and benefits. Can they understand what you're selling, and will that product or service benefit them and solve their problems? So let's take it to the next level here. So you are delivering from a place of pure awareness and just speaking to relieve a pressure or avoid your truth. And that's important to understand the difference. Are you actually speaking from your authentic self? Or are you just speaking because you want to relieve the pressure? Problems and solutions. That is all business is. That's all business is. I have a problem. I need a solution, period. That's it. So what are the problems that your clients are facing? Well, losing focus, trying to be certain. These are all areas where people get pulled off track. So what kind of products can you bring to the clients so that you can service them? Now, again, we walked through all 64 of the examples of what the problem and the solution are. You get to play with the problems. Look at your market. Go into your niche. What are their problems? And of course, the major key things that cause people pain are money, relationships, career. They want to be entrepreneurs. They want to have health, self-hatred. Like, these are big, big money makers here. So the solution lies really in those last 8 modules that we just talked about. People have a problem. How can you solve their problem? So each person that is coming to you wants relief from their pain. They want to enhance their lives in some way. They're not quote unquote happy. I put happy in quotations because of this. Happy is only written in the Rave I Ching once. Happiness is a mental construct. The whole point of human design is to drop you into your cellular structure so that you can feel success, you can feel satisfaction, you can feel surprise and awe, and you can feel peace. So everybody's looking to be happy. They're looking to soothe their mind. How can we soothe their mind and drop them into feeling those intrinsic feelings inside of them? So, maybe they are broke. Their spirit is broke. Their bank account is broke. And they're looking to get rich. Maybe they feel lost and they're looking for a direction. So go back to those 8 modules that we just went over. so that you know how to position your solution to get maximum exposure. One of the largest selling features, of course, is selling pleasure through truth. People want to get rid of that painful feeling in their body. And they'll do that however. You know, here's what I teach, self-actualization. It isn't sexy. It's not sexy. And it's difficult to have people recognize that the only way to heal that pain is through self-actualization. So we fill ourselves up with lots of different things in order to relieve that pain. So what are you selling that can help people in such profound ways that they come to you with a want, but they walk away from you with exactly what they needed? So how to position yourself for maximum leverage. Again, your definition is your how. So please go back to the modules where we review the gates and the channels. The most important thing of all is that you must align with your authentic self, because the authentic self is how you are designed to deliver your message. I come to you as someone who is absolutely designed to come from a place of study, trial and error, and my entire movement in this life is on the material plane, attuning to people that have had a trial and error process and have fear and they want to get a solid foundation. And then I provide that through charisma, education, and the maturing process that I've walked through. So this is why it is so important to trust your strategy and authority, as this aligns you to your frequency. The conditioned mind is meddling in your decision making. The clarity of your message will be distorted. So marketing for your type, if you recall from last week, the human design system has one type that is designed to initiate the manifestor innovator. Sorry, I'm saying if you recall from the first week when we talked about the very first things that you learned about is the human design system and the 4 types. And the one type that's designed to initiate themselves, that's the innovator. But what does it mean for the other 3 types? Does it mean that we can't get things started? People get this very, very confused. So, manifestors are designed to initiate themselves based off of their cues from the environment, from the transiting field, from just looking out and witnessing things. So the example that I use here is that my husband is an innovator or a manifestor. He looks out and he sees something and he lets it sit and he lets it sit with himself. He could take action very quickly. But because manifestors are not intrinsic builders, they need to really drop into the perfect time to take action. So the example that I use here is that my husband, he identifies with being a farmer. And we have cattle, so we need to rent lots of hayland. So he's been able to accumulate lots of rental land around us. But some pieces of land are actually quite a ways away. And one piece of land that's quite close to us, it's been sitting vacant for years. And it just came into something that he noticed about 2 years ago, that there's this piece of property, nobody's ever on it, nobody's ever hayed it, he never sees anybody around there. And he just so happened at that moment, after seeing it, he'd seen it a few times, he'd been looking at it actually for 2 years, he just happened to ask the universe, I wonder who owns that piece of property. 2 years ago, even 1 year ago, we did not have the capacity to take on another piece of property. All of a sudden, he has the capacity to do that. There's this knowing. He asks the universe, and within 2 days, another neighbor phones and says, hey, so-and-so has a piece of property right close to you and is looking for somebody to hay it. And he wants to talk to you. That's how it works. He just put it out there. He's innovating. And then he met that guy and he is able to take action on that. Plow that land, get it back up to a productive level of hay. And it all was because he was looking at the cues out into the universe and he knew he was going to take action. It was just when he took action was his timing. So, the other 3 types, what we are designed to do, we are designed to wait for other people to initiate us. We are designed to wait for somebody to request our energy, wait for somebody to recognize us and invite us, and wait for people to initiate our objective outlook. We are not designed to look out into the landscape and say, hey, that needs to be done, and chase after it. We don't initiate ourselves. Just the manifestor initiates himself or herself. So again, 70% of the population are generators and manifesting generators. So this means they need to respond. 20% are projectors, so they need to be recognized and invited. 9%, they're the ones, they are here to initiate themselves. And then our 1% of the population are reflector types, so they need to be initiated. So let's walk through these types and see, how are you designed to market yourself? It always comes back to strategy and authority, you guys. Always. But you want to look out and go, what do I respond to as a vehicle to get my message out there? So for our builders, our generators, manifesting generators, what is the vehicle you respond to get your message out to the people you need to? So for example, I responded to creating videos on YouTube. I've now expanded that to BitChute and Library, and I'm actually looking at my own TV platform. What is the process that brings you satisfaction? So I don't love to write until all of a sudden my body's moved to write. I love to talk, I love to use my hands, I love to demonstrate, and that's who I am. I have the 8th gate in my defined throat. That gate is about PR, and I do that visually or through my voice. So if you love to write, if you love to sculpt, if you love to paint, if you love to cook, all of these different things, whatever brings you satisfaction, use that as your vehicle. Use that as your process. And then the vehicle could be YouTube videos or whatever it is, right? Videos or written. You want to do written blog posts, or maybe you want to do podcasts. This day and age, like, man, we can get our message out there in a heartbeat. So who's requested your energy and what are they looking for? What are your clients asking you for? Like, my clients were asking me for coaching programs and video training. So there was a response and it was created. Our projectors, as you've moved through your experiences so far, when have you been recognized the most and then invited to advise? So look back. When are those times where you really have a sense that you were recognized? For example, have you been recognized for the ability to write instruction manuals? Or was your one-person play so touching that you got a contract to guide others in creating their own one-person play? So know that you don't have to do this alone. You're designed to ask others for help so that your talents can be used with, that should say, success, not satisfaction. So cross that off and put success there. So success is a cellular feeling. Can you recognize the most dynamic aspects of your experience that felt like such deep success? And in the meantime, Ra always said this, always, 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 master your passion and then take your energy for a walk. Master your strengths in your design. Take yourself for a walk so that you can recognize yourself through other people. Because you're absorbing them and you're sifting and sorting through their energy field so you know what's yours and what isn't, what is yours and what isn't yours. And master your skill set or your passion or your whatever you're bringing, master it. And our manifestors, innovators, marketing is based in information. So what are some of the things you are moved to bring attention to? For example, I use my husband here. You notice a piece of barren land and you see a new way the land could be used. Once you recognize it, you are then moved to innovate. Tell people and watch as the path in front of you clears and the doorway is created. So you are designed to initiate others through informing. So making an impact in your unique way can initiate others into the correct movement for them. And the reflector or the evaluator, what are you being initiated into? So pay attention to the groups that are asking you to engage your wisdom. Objective evaluation and assessment is required in our world, and the Consumer Reports is a perfect example of what you can offer the world. An objective assessment of your claimed features and benefits. Again, there will be a platform that is best for you, and the one that you can bring, all this awe when you're engaging with it. And the important piece here is this. Pay attention to your energy level, because you don't want to be expending your energy on anything that doesn't bring you satisfaction, success, peace, and awe. So when we're looking at your branding, selling your why. People don't come to you because you have a logo. They come because of your brand story. So who are you? Why do you do what you do? Who are you doing it for? This is also really your unique selling proposition. And as I walk through this, you're going to see how this all kind of plays out, how we're breaking down this unique selling proposition. So let's walk through these aspects in your design so that you can get that satisfaction, peace, awe, and surprise. We've already looked at the how. How are you delivering your marketing? Well, the how is your actual design and what is defined in you. That's how you're going to message to people. Okay? Branding, selling your why. First, I would like you to go to your Incarnation cross. Now, again, that whole Incarnation cross, because there's 69,000 of them, there's no way that I'll be able to break them down here in this coaching program. So please use the resources that Ra wrote. So you can go to the Human Design, the Science of Differentiation, the book. It feels like a textbook, but there's a whole purpose or a whole section in there on Incarnation crosses that breaks it down basically into 1 or 2 sentences. Because we want to really get to your purpose. So being aligned to your purpose gives the healthy psychology a focus So the conditioned mind no longer has time to get involved with your decisions. So the other one is the Incarnation Cross book, and you can get both of these off of Human Design America. I'm not going to leave you affiliate links because I don't have any. If you go to Human Design America, there's lots and lots of resources there. And then the public or the profile rules. And we've talked about this extensively, but I'm going to review it here so that you can get a sense of understanding it at this new level of how to market yourself. Now, again, we've gone through the how. The how is how you're going to deliver through your own definition, knowing yourself deeply. The why is your incarnation cross and your profile. So the profile really is your public role. It's that overarching role of that builder, that innovator, that evaluator, and that advisor. And then the public role is kind of like, how is it cloaked? How do people recognize that energy? So it provides us with our big picture role that is built into the electromagnetic, that builder, advisor, innovator, evaluator. The public role is how you are experienced by the other. So it's like this cloak. So for me, I am an express builder. I move really quickly through life. And what happens is that people will recognize me as an authority. And they will also recognize me as a pioneer. Whenever there's something new on the landscape, it's usually bumping into me. And I'm testing it out and I'm trying it. Human design, there wasn't anybody in my area that was teaching it, that was involved in classes, that even heard of it. I was a pioneer in that. So let's move through this information so that you can tie it together and see how you're designed to use it as a marketing tool. So for example, I have a 1-3 profile. So always read the conscious black and then the red, always. So the reminder here, let's just simple reminder and then we'll break it down. So the first line is always that investigator, that authority, that foundation seeker. Second line is always the natural, the hermit. They're selective, they're the Democrat, they want to be fair. Shyness, boldness happening here. Third line, pioneer, martyr, anarchist, trial and error. We talked extensively about the third line through all of those 8 modules of the 64 material ways. And knowing your wealth code. The fourth line is the networker, opportunist, abdicator, externalist. The fifth line is the messenger, heretic, universalization, the general, and the savior. The sixth line is that leader, role model, objective, opportunist, and administrator. So if we look at the first line in your profile, you are designed to be an authority figure. So how you're going to market yourself is demonstrating your authority and having an authoritative presence. You'll be an expert in your field. You're going to teach. You're going to demonstrate. You'll explain the logic. And there's a commanding presence about your energy when you are in a room. And you can be quite empathic. But there's a modesty here. There's always a modesty. We know our place. First line people know their places. There's introspection, study. There's a lot about fear. Because the first line always needs to have a solid foundation. But solid foundations are broke down by the third line, because the third line is the anarchist. So they come along and they tear down our foundation. We're like, oh man, we got to build this back up. And if you are a 1-3 and you have both of those in your profile, you'll know this so well. You study and then something comes along and it's like, oh, it bumps into you and it's like, shit, I don't have that solid foundation anymore. I got to do more studying. So when you market yourself, you need to place yourself as the authority. So know your field of study. So important, because you need to be able to relate to others. And that modesty, you can relate to others because they also are in fear. Second line. So you have this natural talent. You're a natural invert and you're designed to be called out. So when you're marketing to people, present that natural ability. When you're projecting those natural gifts, people all of a sudden go, they want to know more about it. How can I get better at what I do? And they can do that by you demonstrating and being that natural ability. You're democratic, you're fair in nature. So when you're marketing your material, it's about this fairness and not being ashamed of your natural ability or playing small to avoid being seen. Teach people, don't play small. You're in your own process. You need to be called out. So just wait for people to ask for you to be. So get yourself a publicist. Get yourself a coach or a talent scout so that they can market you and get you out there so that you can just be the natural ability, the natural talent that shows up. That third line, change agents. So you got to market yourself as that change agent. Teach people how to adapt and how to pivot. So maybe you are into marketing. Maybe that's your whole gig. So teaching people the new way to do Facebook ads or the new way to gather clientele into your coaching program or the new way of whatever. You're the change agent. You're here to help people pivot. Pivot in the new energy fields. I am recording this in the year 2020. And that's all 2020 has shown us. Pivot, 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 pivot. And you do that through trial and error. So you get to market yourself as this change agent by talking about how you did this and it didn't work, or how you did that and it didn't work. And being resilient, showing people that resiliency and challenging the status quo. Like, stand up for your principles and know that failure is totally cool. But that's what people want to hear. What was that change that you are presenting to people so that they can respect the fact that failure is okay and that pivoting is necessary for business? Fourth line, the influential networker. You're externalizing your message. And where you get to market yourself the most and the best is in your network of people. You want to have that word of mouth, referral programs, loyalty programs, word of mouth, internal influence. That's really what you have. In your group of people, you have the influence. All your opportunities lie there, and that network of people are your friends, they're your family, and you can influence them by externalizing your wisdom. And what will happen is you'll notice that you will abdicate to people that want to go, they want to take their message outside of your network. You'll abdicate to that and let them take the message. But for you, what's important is that you're right there, word of mouth. When you market to the people on your list, market to the people in your community, market to the people in your network. That's what's important. The fifth line, you're a solution provider. So your marketing has to have solutions. Now, everybody's marketing is designed to do that, but you're the messenger for those solutions. People see you as the savior. You're seen as this general, that you have this approach, and here it is. Don't waver off of this, and you will come to a place of whatever. You go in, you fix it, you step out. But don't walk in and try to fix anything that you know in your inner authority that you can't. Because your reputation is everything. You're designed to go out and speak to people outside of your network. You pull people, brand new people in. So what I love is the fifth line people in my world totally help me with this. They introduce people to me all the time. I'm on 1-3. Here I am, sitting and working and 1-3 Express Builder. I study and I have this internal process happening. Fifth lines, you're totally out there. Brand new people, bringing them in, bringing them into your families. So this is the quintessential affiliate marketer. Here's your solution. Here, I'll give you to this person, or I'll give you to that person. You could just have a business that just revolves around doing interviews with people, brand new people off the street, and then sending them off to who they need to be sent off to. You're very seductive. So your messages seduce people into wanting to work with you, wanting to work with the people that are around you. It's really an interesting process, fifth lines. And then the sixth line, you're a role model. So you have to be a living example. Demonstrate, demonstrate, demonstrate. Be it. Walk the talk. So, this isn't about somebody paying you like so many celebrities, right? They get paid to advertise a product. They don't ever use that product. They will lie to you all day long because somebody just paid them $100,000. This is being the actual real role model and living example. So what have you learned? What has your process been? There's just this natural, mature wisdom that comes out of the sixth line profile. More so when you cross over that 50-year mark. But be the example. Now, here's the piece that is also very interesting. So now, we have looked at how are you going to deliver this? Of course, that's always your definition. We have looked at why you're doing it. Well, why you're doing it is your purpose and your public role. Now, let's look at who and where you're designed to do this with. So the trajectory, the nodes, this is your storyline. If you go back through self-mastery movement, there's a whole process here talking underneath purpose about the storyline. So we're all designed to attune to an environment and a perspective that is correct for us. So go back and look at the wellness module as well as the storyline that I've added into the purpose. Because we're designed to serve a particular fractal of people, but we must align to the authentic self first prior to being able to ever see who we are meeting, so we can begin to understand our market better. Like if I am only operating through my openness, it'll be so cluttered up in there, I'll never be able to see who I am actually designed to serve. The nodes of the moon provide us with our path and our trajectory. The environment, which is here, this environment nourishes the body from the outside, so the purpose can be fulfilled. Then the perspective is what you are designed to see, so the correct motivation can emerge. So now, let's see who you're designed to attune to. So if you look at the nodes, I have a third line and I have a first line. What is going to happen is that I am going to attune to first line beings and third line beings. And if you see, this doesn't happen all the time, but it just so happens that my sun Earth and my nodes are actually the same lines. That doesn't happen like all the time. So you might be a 6-2 and have a 5-1 nodal configuration. So I just want you to recognize that there's lots of different nuances in my design that's actually really interesting, even to the people that have studied design for a really long time. But let's move forward so that you can understand who you're attuning to, so you know who and where. Because the who and the where allows you to then drop into, okay, I am in the right place. So my message is getting to the correct people. So if you have a first line in your nodal configuration, this is about being around authority figures if it's on your design side, or seeing your authority figures if it's on the personality side. So always remember, design is being, because you want to be around those people. Your physical body wants to be interacting with that. On the personality side, it's about seeing them. It's your perspective. You want to look out of your eyeballs and see these people in your environment. So what you'll notice is that you attune to those these people that are insecure. They need to study. They're empathic. They watch other people's behavior. They're very modest. So again, you've heard me already say this when we were talking about the profile. So it's very similar here. So what you're doing is you're attuning to those beings that you are here to sell to. So these are the who and the where. Where are you going to do it? Well, you're going to do it in places where you see authority figures. You're also going to do it when you are around authority figures. So you're good at seeing through what others are trying to show you to cover up their fears. So you're looking out and you're attuning to these first line beings. And you just so happen that you see all these authority figures. But how do they get to be authority figures? Well, most of the time they've studied. They've taken time to investigate. And you're attuning to those kind of people so that you can then sell what you need to sell to them. So if you look out of your eyeballs and you look at where the physical body is, and if there's no authority figures around and you have a first line in your nodes, begin to go back and look, how are you making decisions? Because you are designed to attune to these people. Second line, these are these natural talents. So what you're going to see is that you attune to them. You just naturally, there's this harmony. And all of a sudden you guys all come together. I don't have a second line in my nodal configuration or in my Sun Earth actually. So all of a sudden all these natural talents come together. So I threw in a lot of sports here and music and trades, because that's where the natural talent all of a sudden, they start coming together. You see them around you. You see them in your environment. And then you get to market to those people. You get to market to those that are democratic. that they have things come to them effortlessly. So how are you going to market to these people? Again, maybe you're selling them the PR part of it. Maybe you can become their agent. But you'll attune to these natural people, and then you'll be able to sell your gifts and your talents to them. Tuning to these change agents, these people that are resilient and adaptable, that aren't scared to stand up and go toe-to-toe with the BS and expose the truth. And you have a deep relationship with the material plane. You're here to serve by seeing the transformation that is possible when people embody their own process of trial and error. So you'll see these people that are catalysts or change agents. They just naturally come to you. I have a schwack, a ton, because the third line is in my nodes. I can't even tell you how many people in my life are third line people. So many. I have lots and lots of 1-3 people in my life. Because that's my nodal configuration. That's who I'm supposed to attune to. So you don't need to know their design to know who you're attuning to. You just have to open your eyes and look out. Are you noticing a whole bunch of resilient people in your group of people that you talk to, or at work, or whatever it is? Now those are the people you want to market to, because they'll be able to recognize and hear and attune to your stories, your whatever you're selling. Attune to influencers. So you're going to have lots of influential people around you. You just naturally see them, you attune to them. And you can recognize how the externalized message to your friends and family are it's so influential. So I do have some of these people in my life, fourth line people, because why? Anytime you have a 1, there is a resonance to fourth line people. Anytime you have a 2, you have a resonance to fifth line people. Every time you have a 3, you have a resonance to sixth line people. Now, I have some of these people in my life, and it's very interesting to watch their process. As I study, as I get deeper into my studies, and I'm breaking things down, and things are bumping into me, and all this is happening, these people are just spending time with their family and their friends and their community. And when they post something on Facebook, all their friends and family are like, oh yeah, let's buy that. So these are the people that you're going to attune to if you have it in your nodal configuration. Now don't get confused because I talked about resonance. Don't get confused about that. Just recognize what are the 2 lines in your nodal configuration. Mine's a 1-3. Showed you where to find that. And then you attune to those people and you sell to those people. To the messengers. If you are designed to attune to messengers, what you're going to notice is that the fifth line people around you, and you're going to see them. You're going to see them in your environment, and you're going to be moving around with them in your environment. So you can see how others are projecting expectations, and you can help them to be practical in their solutions and their messages. So you see these people, and sometimes fifth line people suffer. They are the heretics. They are here to bring that message, and if that message is not well received, they are the ones that are hung in the town square. They're hard-nosed. It's an outside-of-the-box kind of presentation, and you attune to those people. And then you can help them recognize how people project onto them. And then role models. You want to be marketing to role models. This the whole point of this is that you're marketing to whomever you're tuning to, right? You're messaging towards them. And these people have a 3-part maturation process. And they are designed to go through the hard knocks from 0 to 30. They are designed to be objective witnessers of the life, and then they are designed to bring that wisdom and that example to others. So marketing to role models, they do not like hypocrisy or hypocrites. If somebody isn't walking their talk, they're not interested. So this has to be, I walk the talk. That would be like me, teaching human design, but still running around wreaking havoc in the world through mental decision making. Like, I am a living example of this. Not that I have a 6 line in my sun, earth, or my nodes, but people that 6 line people want that. They want to be able to be sold from living examples. So they're not going to buy hypocrisy. They're not going to buy the empty promises, per se. So when you're speaking to these people and you're tuning to them and you're selling to them, it's got to be at a very high level that you're doing that. So we've looked at the how. We've looked at the what. What are you selling? Well, I've already said. You're selling what we talked about in the last eight modules. The how is your definition. Who are you selling to? Well, we just went through the nodal configuration, and then the where is also the nodal configuration, because if you're designed to be selling to role models and you're standing in a library of a whole bunch of people that are studying, you're in the wrong environment. You want to be out there bumping elbows with these people that are being living examples of who they are. And then the why. The why is all about your purpose and your public role. That's so important. The why, just hone in on that why. Know that why. Understand I am here. I'm the right angle cross of contagion. And my whole purpose is to have something bump into me and absolutely to be the contagion for it. And it just so happens that it's the human design system. And now, drum roll. When are you going to do this? When are you going to market? When are you going to put out that podcast? When are you going to put out that blog? When are you going to innovate that product? When are you going to go to China and find some place to build it? Decision making strategy is the guidance for all of this. Inner authority, strategy, inner authority, strategy, inner authority. That's all there is. And then you'll know if it's right, because there'll be satisfaction, peace, success, and awe. Watch what your body's engaging with. Like, I engage with YouTube. I use YouTube. I watch videos on YouTube. I connect with people that study and get deep in YouTube. So naturally, that's the platform that I went towards. Always ask experts for help as well. Never feel like you're alone, because you're not alone. This is, that person that innovates, creates a brand new product, and they got to get a patent, and they've got to raise money, and it's find those different experts along the way so that the process is simpler. So if there's more satisfaction, peace, success, and awe than there is frustration and anger and disappointment. So your talent may need someone to do PR for it. Or your energy may need a coach to keep it focused. You may need to hire specific skill sets to assist you with your innovation. So always remember that decision-making strategy and recognizing your own energy level, that is so important. So when the mind is focused on the purpose and the role, it does not have time to meddle in the decision-making process. Watch what your body moves you towards. What are you engaging with? This is going to give you a clue on where your people will be. And always pay attention to the cellular feeling of your body. This isn't about keeping your mind happy. Happy is a mental state. This is about feeling the cellular process. Okay, friends, have fun. Have fun marketing. Go back to the modules that I spoke about here. Refresh yourself. Know your design. Know your purpose. Know your profile. Know your storyline. Understand your decision-making strategy and use it every day so that all of this can play out. All right, until next time.